김혜성은 다저스 이적한다. So yeah, the Los Angeles Dodgers, by no surprise, get Hye Seong Kim. I don't know. I don't care how to say it anymore. But this really hurts. Now, before I get into more complaining and kicking the Mariners' butts, Dodgers, congratulations, you got him. And it looks like by the reports, it looks like you're just going to use him as a utility player because Gavin Lux is going to play more second base. Heard Mookie Betts is going to play more shortstop. And shout out to East Coast M's for pointing that out and finding those reports. So shout out to you, sir. And as for the contract, he only got a 3-year contract with the last 2 years of the contract being option contract. So it would go up to around the $20 million. But as of now, it's a 3-year, $12 million contract. So that means the Dodgers definitely got more depth out of it. And as for the Mariners, they really fumbled on this one. Like, it was like as of the last few days since New Year's Eve, when there was reports that the Mariners were going for Kim Hae-sung, it looks like it was going to happen. Maybe there was a possibility, even if the Mariners weren't the greatest bidder, which they weren't. And they still fumbled it, which was sad because just 24 or even just 12 hours ago, or maybe like 15 hours ago, I was with Jay Trident Podcast talking about the idea of getting Kim, and we were both on board about it. The only set of people that I knew that were not on board was Marine Layer Podcast, which I don't blame them because it's not going to be the free agent move that you would expect for the Mariners to go over the top for the World Series or let alone the playoffs. And that they claim that he is basically a Josh Rojas, which I slightly disagree because at least Kim, he can steal bases and play better defense than Josh Rojas. And Kim Hae-sung can actually play... He can play multiple positions, so with Dylan Moore being an impending free agent, that could have been an advantage for the Mariners that they could have Kim so they don't have to worry about trying to extend Dylan Moore as he is getting into the older part of his career. Now, there are Mariner fans out there like me that are devastated that the Mariners missed out on an opportunity to get Kim, and there were some that were like okay with it, and I was like, okay, that's fine. But the problem is, this really just displays the lack of activity out of the Mariners front office. They've got nothing going on. The only moves that they've really made was they non-tendered Josh Rojas and Austin Voth. That's basically it. But they haven't made any convincing moves since then. So I don't know what the Mariners' plan really is. Are they just saving money for whatever to please John Stanton, or is Jerry Dipoto and Justin Hollander just that incompetent with their jobs? Because there are teams out there with lesser payrolls and they're still able to figure it out. Like Baltimore has worked with smaller payroll. Oakland in years past worked with much smaller payroll. Tampa Bay always works with small payroll, and they still find a way to make themselves competitive for the most part. But it seems that the Mariners, for a market that they're in, considering that they're in Seattle, they also have some fan base in Idaho, Alaska, and even Oregon. Like, this should be like easily a top 10 to maybe a top 5 market in Major League Baseball. But yet the Mariners are acting like they're in a small town in the middle of nowhere in that kind of market. So I'm very concerned because look at first base. You got Luke Raley, that's it. And he's only a platoon player at best, but he does hit the righties very well. Second base, can you really trust Ryan Bliss? He has upside, sure, but I don't know. There's just many unknowns. And then shortstop, of course, you got J.P. Crawford, but he hasn't really done much since his 2023 season. And then third base, since Josh Rojas is gone, you're going to just roll with Dylan Moore? Like, I don't like that approach. I think it's a horrible idea. Dylan Moore is too much of a platoon utility player where you just put him everywhere. And that's what Kim could have done too, except a little bit better. Now, for any of those that were concerned that the Mariners were not going to benefit much out of Kim because typically first-year players out of KBO, they do tend to have growing pains, just like Kim Hye Seong or Hye Seong Kim with San Diego. He struggled in his 2021 season, but he vastly improved. And even with his bad season where he batted like 202 with a 279 OBP, he still posted a 2.1 wins above replacement, which was still better than Jorge Polanco. But what are the Mariners exactly doing? Are they saving money to get like Alex Bregman or Pete Alonso? Are they trying to get like the Bo Bichette? What are they doing? I don't know. And I'm very concerned because if the Mariners go into this starting lineup with this opening day with the starting lineup where Dylan Moore at third base and Ryan Bliss at second base, I'm going to say this. We're going to miss the 2024 offense. We're going to say that the 2024 offense actually looks competent, as if we were complaining about 2023. So yeah, I am very concerned. Like, sure, they didn't go for Kim Hye Seong or Hye Seong Kim. Fine, whatever. But what I'm concerned is, what's the plan? That's the overall thing I'm looking at. Because the only thing that the Mariners' advantage have right now is that Bregman's still available, Pete Alonso's still available. Looks like Bo Bichette looks like Blue Jays are fielding offers for Bo Bichette possibly. But I don't know if the Mariners are even going to take advantage of any of them. And it makes sense why Bregman and Alonso are not getting the offers that they wanted, especially under Scott Boras, is because they are in their 30s. So typically it's a risk to go for someone when someone's in the 30s. But even then, Mariners should still definitely take the risk because time is running out. You've got Bryce Miller, Logan Gilbert, Cal Raleigh already entering their arbitration years. And then what are you going to do once Brian Wu and Bryce Miller enter their arbitration years? Because they're still on the pre-arbitration. They're still like in their very much rookie salaries. But what are you going to do after that, especially with this insane, ridiculous payroll that John Stanton is allegedly giving? So time is extremely running out, and I still think that maybe this could be the last window. 25 and 26 could be the final window for the Mariners to really compete for the World Series before everyone gets expensive. Then it gets to the point of like, how are the Mariners going to keep Logan Gilbert, Cal Raleigh, and George Kirby? Because as of now, unless John Stanton sells a team to someone that's much more trustworthy and cares more about the product, Mariners will be lucky just to keep one of them. So I don't know where this is going to go. I'm very concerned. And because of all this, as of now, I won't pay for a Mariners ticket until they make the moves of like Alex Bregman and Pete Alonso. And that's how ridiculous I am. That's how emotionally insane I've become. Is because they're setting these insane payrolls, then I'm going to set the insane ultimatum that unless the Mariners actually are serious and they do get the free agents or make the good trades, I won't pay for a Mariners ticket. Now, if you want to pay for my Mariners ticket, sure, I'll tag along. I'll pay for the food. But I can't justify going to a Mariners game, which is why I would rather just cover the game at home from my chair, my microphone, my computer, and just do the play-by-play myself. Because I just can't justify giving money to an organization that's just going to not even spend the money. Like us fans, we've been loyal to them. We've tried. We've tried to make it work. We really have done what we could to support the team. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm still going to give the team attention. I'm just not going to buy merchandise or go out of my way to spend money to go to a baseball game. So until then, I won't be going. But I will go to some minor league baseball games like Everett and Tacoma because they still have the exciting prospects, but that's going to be about it. Hopefully the Mariners are in on something. Maybe they get someone that's actually solid. Maybe they make some trade that actually does make sense to build this offense. But as of now, I don't even see this team winning. They'll be lucky to win into 80 wins because that starting pitching that the Mariners have can only do so much. And the bullpen, they're still not healthy. Matt Brash, still not guaranteed to start. Can't really trust Gregory Santos's health. Jackson Kowar, I don't know. So until then, it seems to still be a very bleak offseason for the Seattle Mariners. But those are my thoughts. The only reason why I jumped on basically into my car because of hashtag don't quit your day job. So this is basically my break in between. And of course, I'm not on a computer. So if you went through this video, thank you very much for doing so. Thanks for dealing with the fact and being flexible that I'm only able to do this show from my car at this time. But once again, thanks for watching. And painfully saying, go Mariners.